All right, it is 6 o'clock, so we are going to get started. I ask that everyone please turn their camera off and mute your microphones. This meeting will be recorded, as you can see, and will be posted to the guidance portion of the high school website for those who cannot make the meeting. Okay. So first, I want to introduce Ms. Hayek. Ms. Hayek is our dual credit liaison over at Florence Darlington Technical College. Ms. Hayek.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, so that is Ms. Hayek, okay? So this is gonna be the agenda for today. First question is, what exactly is dual credit? Dual credit, as I describe it, is taking college classes in high school and getting credits for both high school and college at the same time. Essentially, you're killing two birds with one stone, if you ever heard that saying before. So I'm going to use typical English 101 as an example. English 101 is the college level English. English 4 is the high school level English. Essentially, if you take English 101 dual credit, you will receive credit for the English 4. That will be satisfied as a high school graduation requirement. But you'll also get the credit at the college level. You'll get 3 credits at the college level, and then obviously the 1 credit for high school, hence the name dual credit, okay? And later on in the presentation, I'm gonna show you what a typical senior's requirements look like, and I typed up something to give you a better understanding of what that looks like. It's a great opportunity for all high school students if essentially you meet the requirements to take dual credit classes. And that's going to lead us right into the second question. What are the academic requirements and benchmarks to be able to take dual credit classes? I'm going to let Ms. Hayek take over, and I'm going to share this document right here that shows you essentially, give me one second, give me one second, I apologize. Okay, I'm going to let Ms. Hayek take over and explain what the requirements are for dual credit.
Well, at FGTC, we try to make enrollment as easy as possible. So we have what we call multiple measures, which means there are multiple ways that students can enroll in the college as a high school student. All that's really required, the easiest of the options, is just a 3.0 high school GPA, and that can be weighted or unweighted. So as long as you have a 3.0 GPA, you can come in and take any general education non-math course. Well, I know that there are some of you who want to take math classes, and we have options there too. That leads into our next multiple measure, which is students can take 4 high school math courses with a C or better. Those courses being English, I say it every time, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, Geometry, and either Pre-Cal or Algebra 3, or Statistics. Any 4 college prep course, math course. So if you have a C or better in 4 of those, you can take classes. Also, there's the SAT, ACT route. We're looking for a 510 for the math portion of the SAT, a 20 on the ACT portion, math portion, and then we also have options for students who don't have a 3.0 GPA, and you don't have the test scores. So you could come in with 3 high school Englishes, only 3. For math, it has to be 4, but for English, it's 3. If you take English 1, 2, and 3 with a C or better, you could come in and take any general education, non-math course. So if you don't have a 3.0 GPA, you don't have test scores, and you haven't taken, you don't have the SAT or ACT test scores, you can take our AccuPlacer test. And what we're looking for there on the math portion is a 263, and For the English, it would be a 250 in reading and writing. So there are multiple ways that you can get to where you need to be. So we try to make it as easy as possible.
Thank you, Ms. Hyatt. And if you have any questions, please save them for the very, very end. We'd be happy to accommodate and answer any questions that you may have. Okay, so the next thing on the agenda item is going to be what classes are available to the student and what does a typical senior dual credit schedule look like, okay? So what I did here was I typed this up basically to show you what and mind you, this is a typical senior. Everyone's situation's a little bit different, but I just kind of took what I see on a yearly basis for a lot of our seniors. So this is just a basic kind of overview. So what this is typical senior high school graduation requirements. So they're going into senior year. And like I said, this isn't for every senior, but this is just an example. And they still need English 4, government economics, and probability and statistics, or their last math to graduate. Okay, so that's what they need to graduate. They don't need anything else. And like I said, this is hypothetical for a lot of our seniors, but everyone's situation is a little bit different. And so dual credit classes, what would the student's schedule look like in this case? Okay, so dual credit English 101 would satisfy the English 4 requirement. So instead of taking English 4, they would take dual credit English 101 at the college level. It would satisfy this last English requirement for high school, and they would receive both the English 4 credit and the English 101 credit. For math, dual credit probability and statistics. Simply it equals high school probability and statistics. So let's say most seniors need one math, if not all seniors need their last math senior year. The dual credit probability and statistics equals the high school probability and statistics. Once again, you receive credit for the dual credit, college credit, and then you receive credit for the high school class as well, killing two birds with one stone, as I like to say. So let's scroll down to semester 2. What is that going to look like? Okay, so at this point, you've satisfied your last math and your last English by taking those 2 dual credit classes. Now, government economics, I don't believe there is a dual credit at government economics, so that is going to be regular high school classes. If I'm mistaken, Ms. Hyatt, can you please correct me?
You're right.
Okay, I'm right. Awesome. All right. Now we're through with semester 1, and this is off the list, and this is off the list. Government economics, they have to take that just as a regular high school class. So now we're going to go down to semester 2. And this is, like I said, is just an example of what it can look like, not necessarily what it is for everyone. Okay. Now for semester 2, you might choose to take the second English at the college level. Okay. So dual credit English 102 will equal a high school elective. So they're going to get the credit for the English 102 at the college level, but it's going to fall under the elective column because they satisfied all their Englishes already, okay? And same thing, this particular example, in a very popular class, might I add, public speaking. Dual credit public speaking will equal another high school elective. They'll receive the public speaking at the dual credit at the college level. They'll receive the college credits, and they will receive the high school elective credit, okay? So this is an important question. Will my courses transfer to another college? And the answer is yes, but we're asking that you check out this website right here. It's an awesome website, an awesome tool. Basically, it's an articulation website to see if certain credits will transfer to certain colleges, okay? So if you go to the website and like it's highlighted right here, you pop in, English 101, and then you want to go to, let's say, Morris, and then you type in Morris. Will that English 101 class transfer as an English 101, or is it going to transfer as an elective? Because if it says it transfers as an elective, that means that the student's going to have to take English 101 at that level again. So it's a good way to be strategic and kind of set up like the future of, okay, I know I want to go to this school, right? I know I'm taking these dual credit classes. Will they seamlessly transfer in to that college of my choice? Okay. And if you have any questions, like I said, I will be happy to answer them at the end, and you'll have my contact information so you can either call or email me with specific questions, and I'd be happy to answer those as well. Okay. So
can I interject just one thing?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
many students opt for out-of-state colleges. All of our courses, the general education courses, typically transfer and are guaranteed to transfer to any public institution in the state, four-year institution. And through the technical colleges, it's the same. However, if you're going out of state, that's a little different. Students can still take classes if they're planning to attend an out-of-state college, but you may want to contact that college to be sure that they're going to accept our credits. Another thing that I always recommend is that students who are thinking about going out of state is that you save your syllabus from each course that you take so that you can prove your learning objectives and outcomes.
Okay.
And you can kind of argue that with the college on a case-by-case basis.
Thank you, Ms. Hayek. I really appreciate the input. Okay, so now that we know what it's going to look like and what you need to take dual credit classes, what is the process to get signed up? So it's pretty simple. We don't make it that difficult, okay? The first thing you're going to want to do is go to this website right here, okay? It's simple, or you can go to Google and type in Florence Darlington Technical College. Once you're there, what we want first is for you to do the electronic application first. And the reason for that, and let me just say that the electronic application is the same exact application that you would fill out if you were a senior wanting to go to Florence Darlington. There's just at one point a drop-down menu stating that you are a high school student and that you're interested in taking dual credit classes. So there's no special electronic application, but the drop-down menu, when you get to that part, states, yes, I'm a high school student, and yes, I want to take dual credit classes, okay? So that's the first step. And the reason this is the first step is they need your name in the system. They need your information in the system. So when you go on to step 2, which is you have to fill out the paper application for dual credit. So step 1, electronic application at this website right here. So they have your name in the system and all your information. Step 2 is going to be these 3 or 4 forms. Now, this is the first one. This is very, very simple form, name, what grade are you in, high school name. And this right here, I ask that you leave blank for me, okay? I've had students make up a GPA or not know their GPA and just, put one in, or, maybe try to boost up their GPA, or even maybe sometimes it was lower than it was and they actually had a higher GPA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this information here in. I'm going to look at your transcript and I'm going to put the correct GPA and I'm going to sign right here so Ms. Hayek knows that it came from me. And then right here, the graduation year, obviously for our rising seniors, the ones that are going to be seniors next year, graduation year of 2022. And if you are currently a sophomore right now, we're going to be a junior next year. That's going to be 2023. I will fill in that information as well. So this line, leave blank, I will take care of that. Okay. Pretty simple form. Parents have to sign and then I'll sign off and then student signs off and parent signs off. The second page in all this is something called the high school lottery waiver form. Ms. Hyatt, can you explain what this is?
Sure. So this is the simplest form of financial aid assistance that you'll ever fill out. The FAFSA is a lot more complicated, and I know there's a word at the top right there. It says waiver. That throws a lot of people off. They're like, okay, this says waiver. What am I waiving? Essentially, the FAFSA is federal. Those are federal funds. And until you graduate high school, you are not eligible for those funds. You're waiving your right to FAFSA, but you really don't have that right yet because you've not graduated high school yet. I hope that makes sense. But that's why it says waiver. Lottery funds are awarded by the state, and Pell Grants and things like that, that's awarded by the U.S. government. And one more thing, students are required, and this is a requirement by the state of South Carolina, that in order to qualify to receive lottery funding, you have to take two courses or 6 credit hours per semester. Our semesters are usually, they have multiple terms. So sometimes you have a 15-week term, sometimes you have a 7-week term, and sometimes you have a 10 or 12-week term. As long as you take 2, it doesn't matter which term, then you qualify for lottery funding.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Ms. Hayek, for that information. Just to reiterate, you must take 2 dual credit classes per semester in order for the state to cover the cost. So essentially, there is no cost if you take 2. If for some strange reason you decide to take 1, you're going to be on the hook for $600, and that's not good. So there is no, it's like buy one get one free, but you have to get the free one. Like, I don't know how else to put it. You have to take 2 classes in order for it to be free. 1, you have to pay $600. So we're giving you more for free. 1 is going to cost you. Okay. So back to the agenda. All right. So what will it cost? We just kind of covered that. I skipped one. I'm sorry. How does this affect the life scholarship? And even before that, I just want to show you the 2 other forms. This is going to be the form right here. It's the 3rd one. Very, very simple. Driver's license number is necessary if they do have a permit or they do have a license. Just make sure you fill out all this information. And the last one is going to be this right here. This is from spring, but this is basically the course registration form. Very, very simple. You look up, what you want to take, and we'll have this conversation on an individual basis. Which is necessary if you're signing up for dual credit. So I'm going to need to see, what your transcript looks like, what you need to graduate high school, and the best way to individually kind of structure what the dual credit for that particular student would look like. So before you do this, I'm asking that you do contact me, whether that be by phone, whether it be by Teams, whether it be by email, and let's have a conversation to make sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted so there are no issues in the foreseeable future, okay? This probably doesn't make any sense, but this is like Math 140, so on and so forth. So I know what this stuff means, and this is why I want to kind of fill this out with you guys and have that conversation while looking at your high school graduation requirements, okay? Last thing that I do want to say about the courses is be strategic. And what I mean by that is, this is an example of dental hygiene program at Horry Georgetown. And the reason I chose Horry Georgetown, I just have this document. I knew where to find it. It was quick. It was easy. There's something called prerequisite classes. So for this particular program, these are the prerequisites that are required for you to enter the dental hygiene program. And for the most part, it's the same over at Florence Darlington, okay? So completion of the 4 prerequisite classes with a grade of C or higher and a GPA of 2.75. So the classes that person needs to take is Bio 210, Chemistry 105, Organic Biochem, Math 101, and English 101. So if you know that you want to enter a particular program, and this is especially for our seniors or our rising seniors, the juniors that are currently juniors right now, and you see that you need 2 prerequisite classes that you see here that you can take for dual credit, essentially you would satisfy those 2 prerequisite classes while you are in high school, which is kind of being strategic about doing what you need to satisfy for the program you want to enter, and at the same time getting high school credit, meeting those requirements, and at the same time getting college credit. So you can really, really, really benefit from this whole dual credit thing if you really structure it and you do your research. So there's just some information for you. And Ms. Hayek, didn't you say that for the most part, any program does have prerequisite classes? Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, most courses, most programs do have prerequisite courses. I get questioned a lot about, I want to study nursing, and students expect to go right into nursing, but that's not really what happens. Colleges want to make sure that you have a really good foundation, often like a liberal arts foundation, which means you're going to be taking classes like English and history and math. So you have to get those things out of the way prior to going into your core courses or your desired courses.
Thank you, Ms. Hayek. And while you were talking, I decided to bring up the nursing prerequisites. So this is basically the same kind of document, nursing. And what they're asking you to do is, for the prerequisite classes, there's quite a few. So as I stated, I'm not going to go, class by class, but just kind of do your research. And if you have trouble accessing a document that you need to understand what you would need for a particular program at a particular school, I'd be happy to do that research for you and kind of find out what prerequisite classes are necessary for that particular program at that particular school. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to everyone. It's about being strategic in these dual credit classes, and you can, it can be worth your while times 10. Okay. So let's move on the agenda. We already covered the costs. How does this affect Life Scholarship? Okay. Follow me now with the Life Scholarship. Let me explain what the Life Scholarship is. The Life Scholarship is the South Carolina lottery-based scholarship that students can obtain by meeting 2 of the 3 requirements. The first requirement is going to be a 3.0 on the South Carolina scale. And I should have typed this out, but I did not, so let's just do it now. 3.0 on the SC scale. And you have to meet one of the next 2. Just one. Either being in the top 30%, top 30% of your graduating class, or getting a 24 on the ACT, or an 1100 on the SAT. Okay. If you meet the 3.0 and meet one of these 2, okay, either top 30% or the 24 or the 1100 on the SAT, you will receive the Life Scholarship. That's worth a total of $20,000. So it's $5,000 a year for 4 years. That's big, big money, huge money. Okay. Now,
Let me point out one thing.
Yeah, sure.
On the technical level, you only need one thing. You only need a 3.0 GPA. If students elect to come to a technical college. And you have to be a resident of the state.
Thank you. Thank you for reminding me about that. That's very, very important. So if they don't get the 24 at 1100 and they don't get the top 30% and they just have the 3.0 on the South Carolina scale, they will receive what I call half of the Life Scholarship, which is $5,000 a year for 2 years. But they also give the student the opportunity to re-qualify for the full Life Scholarship their first year there. Now, this is where all this gets tied up. Okay. I'm not digressing, because to maintain the Life Scholarship, you need to maintain a 3.0 GPA. This is from year to year. So you have to maintain a 3.0 GPA at the college level to maintain the Life Scholarship from year to year. And you have to take a total of 30 college credits, which is 5 classes per semester. Okay. Now, this ties into the dual credit because the grades you get in high school. So if you take, let's say, 4 dual credit classes, okay, let's just go with, let me start off. Let's go with 2 dual credit classes. Let's say fall semester, you take public speaking and you take English 101, and you receive a C and a B, okay? And then your first semester at college, no matter where you are, you get straight Bs, B, 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 okay? Those Bs equal exactly a 3.0 GPA, okay? Now you got a C and a B in your dual credit classes in high school, okay? That C is gonna take your GPA of a 3.0 and dip it below the 3.0 mark to like a 2.9, okay? You will lose the Life Scholarship. And the reason I'm telling you this is, 1, because you have to be aware, but 2, if you're gonna do dual credit, make sure that your heart and soul and you try the hardest you've ever tried in your life with everything that you have in order to make sure that you do well and well enough so you don't have to worry about what you received that first semester in college and be, standing on pins and needles or however you want to put it. It's very important that you do well because it will affect your Life Scholarship if you do not. And that's just kind of putting that out there and letting you guys know. It's not to deter you, but make sure your whole heart and soul is put into this if you're going to attempt to take dual credit classes. Okay. Do you want to add on to that, Ms. Hayek, or pretty much covered it?
I completely concur with you. And the only thing other thing I could say is this is the start of your college churn-in script. One of the great things about dual enrollment is the classes you're taking in high school kind of go into your bank. So when he mentioned the 30 credit hour requirement, those all count toward that requirement. So you want to make sure that those grades are good and they can help you in the long run.
Awesome. Awesome. I do just want to say, and Ms. Hayek said that this has happened to her before. I didn't pay for like Zoom Premium. I didn't pay the $15. So it just gave me a warning, a 10-minute warning. If it kicks me out of the meeting and it kicks you guys out of the meeting, all you have to do is click on that link again and go back into the meeting. Okay. I apologize if that happens, but I wasn't going to pay the $15 for Zoom Premium if I'm only going to use it once or twice. Okay. All right. So back to the agenda. Once again, if we get kicked out, just click on the link again. It'll bring us right back to a new 45-minute session. Okay. Do you have to pay for books? The answer is maybe. And the reason I'm saying that is it depends on if the district does have the funds for them to pay for your books. Now, first semester this year, books were not paid for, but they covered it for second semester. Okay, so I can't really answer that question, but I can give you a maybe. Hopefully they do have the funds to pay for dual credit books. If not, that's something we can discuss. Okay, so I'm just kind of giving you a heads up and kind of hypothetical maybe. Hopefully they do have the funds. Okay. Will the credits transfer to the college or university of my choice? We discussed that. There's that dual credit tool that I mentioned. Bring this up. Now I have a million windows open. Let's see. Once again, there it is right there. Where's that link? Let me zoom in on this. Will my course transfer to another college? Go to this website right here, and it will show you if the credits will transfer. Ms. Hike, did you say that no matter what, the credits will transfer if the school's in South Carolina? Was that correct information that I heard?
If it's on that list, and there's a list on that brochure that you're showing right now, that is a list of 86 courses that are guaranteed to transfer to any four-year public institution in the state.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Okay.
And most private schools, they will accept them as well. It's just not universal. Okay, very good. Thank you, Ty, for clearing that up. Okay, and like I said, be strategic about the way you kind of, the classes that you pick. Obviously, you're going to need English to graduate for most students. You're going to need a math to graduate for most students. And like I said, each situation is individual, and we can take a look at that when you stop by the school to pick up the dual credit paperwork if I am free. Also, I do want to mention, I forgot to mention, after you fill out the online application, okay, you're going to want to stop by the school and pick up the dual credit paperwork that I went over, those 4 sheets of paper, okay? I'm not going to post them online because I do want you to come in and grab those. Hopefully I am available to speak with you. If not, you can grab them from the guidance secretary, Miss Watts. She'll have that for you. And then we can try again when you drop them off and we can sit down and kind of go over some stuff. But this is something that we need to discuss. It's not just kind of, hey, I want to take these, because we have to make sure that everything fits perfect in your graduation requirements and dual credit and what you need to take. Okay. I'm going to open it up to questions for parents. You can unmute your microphones and just kind of, shoot away. No questions? Anybody? Bueller? Most kids won't understand that.
Yeah, most students will not understand the Bueller reference. Any questions? Last call questions. All right. Well, there's my contact information right here. And if you think of something later on that you want to ask me, you can always email me. And wait, we have a question in the chat. Let's see what that is. Will we have to pay if we take one class, one semester, and one the next? Yes, you have to take 2 classes per semester. If you take 1 per semester, you do have to pay.
But we do have multiple terms within a semester. So, I mean, typically some students, depending on how eager they are, they can take English 101 and 102 within the same semester. I'm not saying that you need to do that, but it is possible.
Thank you, Ms. Hayek. I really appreciate it. If that is, if no one has any further questions, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
There's another question.
Yeah, I see that. Give me 1 second. All right. So is there a deadline to apply? Ms. Hayek?
There's really no true deadline. Summer and fall registration will begin April 5th. So, the sooner the better, but, our class is going to fill up on April 5th for the fall. No. We would like, I guess the best deadline is, we'd like to have everyone scheduled before you leave for the school year. So that way in the fall, you already know your schedule is predetermined and you're ready to go.
Okay, thank you. That's awesome. Thank you. Any final questions?
I don't know if we mentioned it, but the course registration form, is not ready right now. It will be ready closer to that April 5th deadline. So we will have that for you soon. I'm going to send that to Mr. Santo, and then he's going to have it ready for everyone else.
I see one question. Will virtual students need an appointment? That is a good question. You can just stop by if you want to make a particular appointment. That would be good too. If you want to guarantee that you have time to speak with me, I think, yes, an appointment would be awesome. You can call me and we can make that appointment, or you can email me. But if you're just kind of in the area and you swing by, you're kind of risking me, in being in the middle of something and not being able to take you or your question. So that is a great question. I love it. So I'm going to say yes. Please make an appointment with me to discuss this. Absolutely. Great question. Thank you. No, thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? All right. Well, if no one has any further questions, we are done with the meeting. And like I said, if you think of anything, just email me or call me. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too. Thank you.